Hi all, and welcome to my video editing your own writing. So the difficulty of trying to edit your own writing is in the way our brain works. When we read our own work, we read it as it should be, not as it is. So ideally, you would enlist somebody to help you proofread your writing. A friend, a family member, a writing center consultant, or even a writing editor. However, a lot of times we have to rely on ourselves to proofread and edit our work. So in this video, I'm going to go over some of the techniques that will help you do it. Now, first of all, the way you read your work matters. Read your draft out loud. When you read aloud, you will not only hear how it sounds, but you will also automatically correct any errors that you would normally miss if you're just reading your draft very quickly. Make sure you don't rush your reading and add notes on your draft for the changes that need to be made. Another way to read is starting from the end and moving up to the beginning. You can go sentence by sentence, starting from the last one, or paragraph by paragraph. The idea is to break the familiar flow of the paper and really concentrate on each individual sentence. And make sure you don't try to proofread right after you just finished writing. Make sure there's at least some time between writing and editing, a day or two, ideally, or at least a few hours, or maybe sometimes even a week if you have it. And you should definitely use the spell and grammar check functions in Microsoft Word or any other software you use, but do not rely on them 100%. A lot of times these automatic checks won't catch some misspellings or grammatical issues that are ambiguous, and sometimes it can tell you to fix something that doesn't need to be fixed. One thing that would definitely help you is keeping track of your own errors. If you know that you have trouble with commas, for example, then you know what to look for when you proofread. Personally, I tend to overuse parentheses. Sometimes I want to put something in parentheses in every other sentence, so I know I have to go back and bring those ideas out of the parentheses and reorganize my sentences every time I have to proofread a piece of writing. And you might confuse there, and there a lot, so you'll need to double check every time you use any of those words. So know your own patterns, what kind of errors you make. And also educate yourself on common grammatical issues. You can use multiple online grammar guides, like Purdue OWL has resources for grammar and punctuation, and there are resources provided by companies that specialize in editing, like Grammarly or Grammarbook. They all have very useful guides that are pretty easy to go through. However, grammar and punctuation are important, but they're only one side of proofreading. You can accomplish a lot more things with careful proofreading and editing. Pay attention to your language. Are you using cliches too much? Is your word choice always on point? Does your writing sound too simple or too convoluted? And then check for repetition or redundancy. Does every sentence contribute something new and something important? Are there phrases that are too wordy? Are you describing something using synonyms that are basically saying the same thing? So take a look at this sentence as an example. In my own personal opinion, I believe that all amusement park roller coasters should be required to undergo thorough and complete inspections once they have reached the old age of 15 years old. So you can notice that in my own personal opinion, and I believe are the same thing, thorough and complete are the same thing, reach the old age, and 15 years old saying the same thing again. Amusement park, roller coaster, amusement park is redundant because roller coasters do not exist outside of amusement park usually. Should be required to undergo also sounds a little cumbersome. So compare this sentence of 32 words long to this one. All roller coasters should undergo rigorous inspection after 15 years in use. That's only 12 words. It says exactly the same thing in a much more assertive way. You can also notice that I deleted in my own personal opinion and I believe completely, because these phrases make your writing weaker than it is. We already know that it is your opinion because it's your paper, and I don't see quotation marks anywhere around that sentence, so it's your thoughts. And don't apologize for having your opinion. Don't be afraid to state it directly. So, to reiterate, conciseness in writing goes a long way. You don't want to overload your readers with words that don't bear any meaningful load. So you can compare even these two sentences. In spite of the fact that I cook, I don't like to eat. Right? In spite of the fact that can be replaced with just one word. Though I cook, I don't eat. Right? So watch out for those wordy phrases and sentences that are too long, that overload your reader without actually contributing anything. And finally, when you proofread your paper, pay attention to how well your introduction and your conclusion work together and separately, how well your transitions work from one main idea to the next, how well your paragraphs work, and any organizational issues. Those are the things that can be caught during careful proofreading, and those are, of course, as important as paying attention to your grammar and punctuation. So that's it. Thank you for watching this video, and as usual, email me if you have any questions.